Well, it was awesome. That's really the only start I've got for this whole thing.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. We'll talk about FanDuel in just a little bit. Want to thank you every day for joining every day. You know why? Because you've made Locked On the #1 sports podcast network there is, period. And we appreciate you. And we'll tell you how to join the Everydayer Club. And sorry, my voice is still gone. It's been a day, 24 hours for Daddy. By the way, I appreciate all those who did a wellness check on me from last night's podcast. There were a lot more comments about my well-being than the podcast itself. I appreciate all of you. I also want to throw a few things out there. So I told you I saw a lot of the family. There's Germ's dad, and super guy. I love talking to him. And here's Dijon Lee's dad, the boxer, who's got a daughter who's 7 who also boxes. I don't know why I look like I had a stroke in that picture, but I do, and I'm sorry.
You were probably concerned you were about to get beat up by a 7-year-old girl.
Jimmy, that's me every day. So let's start with some news that just really broke, and that's Nick Sheridan is headed to Michigan State to be the offensive coordinator, and happy for him. I think it's a good opportunity, and maybe eventually he can find his way back to Alabama. I think Nick Sheridan's a good dude. I think he's very smart, and I know you're high on him.
I am. Yeah, I've always liked Nick Sheridan a great deal. I thought the job he did last year as OC with Alabama's offense, winning the games they did, ending up one spot short of the playoff with Alabama's limitations last year, I thought was a great job by him and the offensive staff. When I've gotten to know Nick Sheridan, I always feel like he's the smartest guy in the room. He's one of those guys like, this guy's smart. He's also been an outstanding quarterback evaluator. Keelan Russell, Jet Tamala being great examples of the work Nick Sheridan's done in that regard. So he'll be missed. He couldn't say no to this opportunity, and I get that. It'll be interesting to see what direction Alabama goes in to replace him.
Well, I agree. So what do you mean by that? Do you mean like what direction, like internal or external?
Both. And by that, I mean, look, Grubb is the OC. He does not have a position. He doesn't coach a position. Are they going to move Grubb to quarterback coach OC, or are they going to bring in a new quarterback coach who does not have OC responsibilities? Or my suggestion would be, and I'm not sure how to pull this off, but as you all know, prioritizing fixing the run game is #1 for me. I would bring in someone, regardless of what title he gets, that we feel is going to help Alabama fix the run game. I do think bringing in Derek Nix as the wide receiver coach is a step in that direction, because Derek Nix has coached running backs and has been an OC in his career. He's got a global understanding of offense. So I think Derek Nix can be a help with fixing the run game. Ryan Grubb, who knows a lot about offense, obviously. It just emphasizing it is going to help the run game. But I'd bring in somebody that maybe he's got the title of quarterback coach, but I would bring in somebody who's got some OC background, just simply because we need some ideas and some thoughts and some drills and some ideas about executing the run game better. So in that sense, I'm real intrigued to see what direction they go. Are you going to bring in a quarterback guru? Or are you going to bring in sort of an OC that's going to help Grubb with the run game? Or are you just going to let Grubb be the quarterback coach and you're bringing in a second offensive line coach? I mean, that's possible. So you have an interior OL coach and a tackle OL coach. There's just any number of directions they can go in, because Grubb at this point doesn't have a position that he coaches. But at practice, by the way, Ryan Grubb, who does he spend most of his time with? The quarterbacks. So I think Grubb sort of is a QB coach. Therefore, you can do any number of things there. So that's what's interesting about replacing Sheridan. But I'm telling you guys, this is a big loss for Alabama. Nick Sheridan, smart guy, heck of a future, in my opinion, heck of a future as a head coach. And maybe I think Michigan State's going to do well because Pat Fitzgerald won at Northwestern. It's easier to win at Michigan State than it is at Northwestern. He's a good coach. I think he got railroaded a little bit by allegations that were never really substantiated or not substantiated enough. And that's why he's getting this next shot in the same conference. And I think Pat Fitzgerald's going to do well. And he made a heck of a hire for his OC.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I like Pat Fitzgerald too. And I loved his being in Northwestern because I sort of like the alum coming back to do good. But here's hoping he does well, and here's hoping Nick Sheridan does well. Sort of going in a totally different direction. As we're cutting this, it is 0-0 at the half between Texas A&M and Miami. And I've spent so we did the pod last night. Everything wrapped up about 1:30. I didn't get to bed till about 2:30, and then I had to fly out this morning. I just got home. And I've spent most of my time since then reading Twitter, reading message boards or whatever. I've seen, first of all, the Tim Brandos of the world who, by the way, is there anybody who's killed his career more than Tim Brando? This man hates Alabama. And people say that about all these announcers. He literally calls us Bammers. He's such a jackass. But
Brandon, I think our fans way overplay the national media hates us. That's not
I agree with that.
Alabama's heavily respected by most. Brando does not like Alabama. Neither does Booger McFarland. The thing about Booger that gets me when he does college football and talks about Alabama, over the years, if there's a close call as to whether you're going to be and I'm not talking about picking the winner of games. That doesn't mean anything. That means that's your honest opinion who's going to win. But if should Alabama be in the playoff or out of the playoff? Should we look at Alabama fondly for this or look at Alabama negatively? Booger is against Alabama every time. And if it's a 50-50 thing and he's neutral, it only makes sense that about 50% of the time he's pro-Bama, 50% of the time he's not. But he's not that way. On all the 50-50 things, he's 100% against Alabama. It's like when Nicole Auerbach said, if you lose in the championship game, you should never be out, because she was saying that because she thought SMU should be in last year. And then this year, when Alabama lost in the championship game, she's like, Alabama should be out. See, that's intellectually dishonest. That's her saying, I don't like Alabama. I never want good things to happen to them, even if they've earned it, because I don't like them. That's what that is when you're taking complete 180-degree opinions to fit how you feel. I think Booger does that, and Tim Brando does that. But most of the national people, I think, truly are neutral and not biased, and they give Alabama a very fair shake. Most of them.
I agree with you. But again, Cannell hates the whole SEC.
And he makes a shtick out of it. I think he makes a shtick out of it. But which is intellectually dishonest as well.
And Brando, I mean, all you got to do is read some of his tweets. He's just not an Alabama fan, which I can get down with.
He's an LSU guy, so I sort of get it. But
I sort of get it too, except he portrays himself. He portrays himself as a soothsayer, as a truth speaker. He's not.
Speaker. No, not when it comes to Alabama. He's just too anti-Alabama. And I'm sure. You know what some of the Alabama fans do, since they recognize this, they pound him on Twitter. No wonder he hates us now. Well, he gets pounded by Alabama fans and has blocked so many over the years. But I get an LSU fan not loving Alabama, just like I get an Alabama fan not loving LSU. But at least, Pollock, I think, said, hey, I'm rooting for Oklahoma here.
Yeah, I can.
At least he was honest about it.
I can get down with that.
He's honest about it. Okay, that's good.
Well, here's my whole thing. So reading these tweets when Alabama was down 17-0, it was, boy, the committee screwed up. The committee's a bunch of morons. How could they do this? And then when Alabama came back, there was less like, oh, I probably spoke too soon. There was nobody's mea culpa. Now, and Notre Dame people the whole time were going nuts. Boy, we could have beat either one of these teams. It's 0-0 Miami, Texas A&M. Guess what? Notre Dame, they both beat you. So, I mean, right. And I'm watching this game. Some people were like, I saw a lot of Notre Dame people specifically were saying, boy, last night just showed us it was bad football. I thought last night there was a lot of good football. There was dang sure some good defense. Now, I'm watching this Miami Texas A&M thing. This is a cavalcade of errors. This is what do you go? It's like when the clowns come running out of the car. It is just it's a hot vomity mess right now.
If your take is Alabama's awful at 17-0, Alabama's awful, they shouldn't be in this thing. And then Alabama beats Oklahoma 34-7.
Yeah.
34. You beat a top 10 team on the road 34-7. Then where's your tweet saying, looks like the committee was right?
Yeah. That's all we're asking.
No one said that. If you by the way, Alabama now has 2 wins over top 10 teams on the road. Who else has done that? The answer is no one.
Well, let me add one more thing. The other thing that bothers me, I've seen the still shot of Caden Proctor holding R. Mason Thomas. By the way, R being his first name is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I've said that a billion times. Okay, you said it last night. You said hey, I saw Caden Proctor hold a lot, 100%. But I'm pretty sure neither team got called for holding.
I saw Alabama held repeatedly. I saw Tim Keenan held 2 or 3 times.
Okay. So, and if Oklahoma fans want to bitch about that, okay. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Where was all this, the fixes in when y'all had pass interference on the pick 6? Where was all the fixes in when you screwed Auburn in 2 different scenarios? Where was all that? I'm just saying sometimes you're the screwy and sometimes you're the screwed. So it just happens and deal with it.
Any Oklahoma fan upset with officiating last night, I get it. Y'all did get hosed repeatedly. So did Alabama.
And we did more get hosed in the first matchup, which, by the way, if you hadn't won that because we got hosed, you wouldn't be in this situation. So, I mean, again, I'm not mad at Oklahoma. I want to say this again. If there's any Oklahoma people watching, I put this on Twitter. I thought the fans were super nice. Yes, there were some people shooting some birds after the game, but I would have been PO'd too. So I get it. Okay. And that was a very select few group of turds. It was not a gaggle of Oklahoma people for the most part. Super nice. Right. But the fixes in stuff gets really old when we've also been the victim of the same type of stuff.
That's so true. It's just so again. Well, how many times we said on the show, the officials aren't crooked; they're just incompetent at times. They're just not good at they're not good at their jobs as they should be, in my opinion, because the SEC is cheap and doesn't go the NFL route and train officials year round and do year round training. Would that fix everything? Would you have nothing but great calls then? No, but they'd be better.
Talk a little Wayfair. The holidays always show up faster than we expect. And if you're still putting together gifts, last-minute decor, or getting your home ready for guests, Wayfair has you covered. Whether you need a quick room refresh, new bedding, or those final seasonal touches, Wayfair makes it easy to get what you need. Wayfair truly is your one-stop shop for everything home, with decor, furniture, kitchen essentials, and gifts for every style, every budget, all delivered quickly and easily. It's so easy to shop by style. It helps you pick pieces that are actually will fit your home instead of guessing what will fit your home. The Wayfair items you order will instantly refresh your space without a big project. Get last minute hosting essentials, gifts for all your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Now there's FanDuel. Love you, FanDuel. You're the best. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game. You're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. Like when Latsier Brooks scores a touchdown for the first time all season, or Xavier Brown returns another pick 6, or the momentum flips after another turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. So if you want to be right in the middle of action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast. Hey, so can you. I mean, why not? Let's go get it. Want to remind everybody to join the Everydayer Club. We would appreciate it. Jimmy and I have said this many a time. It's not a must. We're going to do the same podcast every time. We have not skimped one time since this started. Okay. But what it is, it allows like-minded people, locked on Bama-esque people to get together and talk. I know I'll go to all the message. I'm a member of all the other Alabama sites, right? But I know that some of those message boards can be very exhausting. So what we're saying is come on over to our Discord where it's not as exhausting, where it's like-minded people, and you get ad-free podcasts. So come on over, baby. Quoted by Christina Aguilera. Locked on Bama. That's so sad. LockedOnBama.com/Everydayer Club. It's $5 a month or $50 for an entire year. You can't beat that. You can beat it.
An ad-free podcast. You get an ad-free. If you listen to us on podcasts, they now become ad-free.
That's awesome.
And you're on the Discord page. If you just watch us on YouTube, you're paying your $5 to join $5 a month to join the Discord page where you interact with me and Luke daily and each other. And there's been a ton. And as a matter of fact, Luke's mentioned it. We actually have the largest Discord page of any of the college channels, and I think any of the college and NFL channels. But
I think any of the channels, period.
Any of the channels, period. So how about that, Bama fans? We're number one again.
Okay. So I put in the topics. Some concerns remain, even though we won. Yeah. And this is so Bammer of me. By the way, I can call us a Bammer. Tim Brando can't do it. So it's not insulting when we say it. So
I like calling us Gumps.
I'm pro Gump. So anyway, some concerns remain. And this is again typical Bammer that like we win this huge game. It's awesome. And I've been on cloud nine. And part of me is like, yeah, but we got to do this, this, and this. And that's probably why Alabama's great, by the way, because we don't just sit around and soak in, when we do something well, we try to improve even more. So I think we start with Ryan Williams. Yep. One catch. I think he had another drop in this game.
He did.
I don't know what's going on with him, Jimmy. And this may be something that doesn't get cured this year. I'm resigned to that.
I agree.
I want to be clear when I say I love Ryan Williams. I do. I love him. And there's nobody I want to succeed more than Ryan Williams. He clearly is having brain fog, the yips, whatever you want to call it. And it's worrisome. But here's the good news. Lazier Brooks, and I've said this before, is being what we thought Ryan Williams would be this year.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Lazier Brooks is, in my opinion, I'll go this far, and this is crazy because Jeremy's on the team. I'm not so sure Lottie shouldn't be wide receiver one right now. The number one option, the go-to guy in Pasadena, Lottie Brooks, and Jerm would be second, and Isaiah Horton would be third. And I would say Ryan is a comfortable fourth in the pecking order, if not potentially maybe taking a longer look at somebody like Rico Scott. But here's the thing about Ryan, and it's a bit of a rant, and I get kind of adamant about this. A couple years ago, Alabama center, who was a good player, that's why he never lost his job, because Nick Saban himself said, this is a good football player. But all of a sudden, Seth couldn't snap the ball. And it was bad, and it cost us. It even ultimately cost us a bad snap on the play that determined the outcome of the season, the fourth down play against Michigan, ironically, in the Rose Bowl. Well, the fans were extremely hard. There were literally death threats. Seth could not continue at Alabama because of fan outrage over the snaps. And all Seth had was the yips. He just couldn't. It took him an entire offseason to fix it. What happened when he fixed it? He became recognized from coast to coast the best center in all of college football. He was a first-team All-American. He won the Remington Award. He was the best center. Now, Alabama had a good one. Alabama did fine because Parker Brailsford came with the new staff. So Alabama was fine. But Ohio State had the best center in college football per all the experts that season until he unfortunately tore his Achilles at the end of the season. My point being, Ryan has the yips. And y'all can be as mean to him and rip on him and say you don't care if he's back next year and all that. You do that all you want. But what's Ryan going to do? The same thing Seth did. He's going to go somewhere else, make a ton of money, and be the best wide receiver in college football, or one of the best wide receivers in college football, because he's going to get healthy, which he hadn't really been this year, but he's going to figure out the yips just like Seth did. Just like Seth did. Ran Seth off, best center in the country. I'm telling you, what you need to do with Ryan is help him fix it. Help him fix it. That kid's got too much talent. He will be a great player, either at Alabama or somewhere else.
100%. And again, I think the fans need to be resigned to the fact there's just about no way it's going to get fixed this year. There's just not enough time. There's too much going on, and we don't have time to concentrate on that. We've got to play the guys that are producing right now.
And the new wide receiver coach is coming in. Let's give Derek Nix a chance to fix it.
Yeah.
Give Derek Nix a chance to fix it. Jamarcus, good a coach as he is, Jamarcus couldn't fix it. Got in his head. It's not an easy thing. It's in his head. So you got to fix it and work on some things. And I love the fact you got a new wide receiver coach coming in, and let's give Derek Nix a chance to fix this.
And not even the catch he had last night, which was very late in the game, it hit him in the hands and he bobbled it, and it took him a minute, but he still almost made a play because that's the kind of dude he is. He's uber talented. But, you know, I just hope people are paying. I've seen on Twitter some people killing him. I've also seen some people sort of being overly sensitive about people killing him. One guy was posting, "Hey, we've seen other guys drop balls too. Why don't y'all kill them too?" And I'm like, well, because
but Ryan drops.
It is true. But those other guys, number one, they weren't on the cover of EA College Sports Football or whatever that thing is. They weren't one of the most dynamic freshmen in the country last year. We had high expectations for Ryan, and we should have. And we should continue to hold him to those. And right now, I think I'm like you, Jimmy. I think he needs support. Let's not. I don't want anybody telling me. I know they've seen, Ryan Williams makes $2.5 million in NIL. And I've seen people say, well, you better take a pay cut. That money better go to Lottie Brooks. That money better do this. That money better do that.
That's the way NIL works, for one thing. Now, it's how rev share works. Rev share, that might work. That's not the way NIL works. Most NIL money comes from third parties, and they want to have people market their product that are recognizable, that people know and believe in. Ryan will continue to make NIL money because everyone that's a football fan in America, they know who Ryan Williams is.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Why is that? How come every football fan knows who Ryan Williams is, and very few of them know who Rico Scott is? Just pick out a name. Why is that? Because Ryan's made big plays in big games, and he's a dynamic presence. I mean, he's a dynamic talent. That's why he's known from coast to coast. That's why he'll continue to make NIL money. Now, the rev share money is different. That comes from Alabama, and I agree. That's all. I don't even want to get into it on the show, really, but I think there are some difficult rev share conversations coming up, because when it comes to rev share, who's making what, there is a pecking order. And going into this year, there wasn't much of an argument that going into the season that Ryan should be one of the highest paid players on the team. I don't know if that should be the case going forward. Those will be difficult decisions for everyone. But Ryan, because of the platform Alabama has, Ryan will continue to do really well at NIL, and we should all be happy for that instead of redistributing it to someone else. Now, again, rev share is different situation, different way things are paid out. But I wish everyone would be very supportive of Ryan. I don't want to see him play for anybody else. I want to see him become as good as he can be at Alabama.
Well, here's the other thing. The fact of the matter, and again, I'm going to defend Ryan Williams with all I've got, but the fact of the matter, being honest, I don't think Ryan Williams makes that catch Lottie Brooks made on his second touchdown.
No.
I don't think Ryan Williams makes that catch Isaiah Horton made on a deep play where if Ty throws it more to the middle, I think it's a touchdown, but you got to do what you got to do. And he caught it and he dragged the foot. And I definitely don't think he makes the catch that Jeremy Bernard makes. Last year, he probably makes those catches. This year, he's just not. And I don't know why, but I'm willing. Alabama's still in the playoffs. We survived and advanced. Let's go beat Indiana, and then we can deal with Ryan Williams' problems.
By the way, one last point about Ryan. If we're down against Indiana and we got to go 70 yards in 2 minutes to win the game, I want Ryan Williams. I want Ryan Williams on the field.
I'm 100%.
Some of y'all are going, no, he'll drop it. I trust him to make the catch to win the game. And we'll have 4 wides out there. We'll have Lottie, we'll have Germ, we'll have Zay, and we'll have Ryan. 4 wides to go 70 yards to win the game. I want Ryan out there.
Rocket Money. Ever feel like your money just disappears each month? It happens fast. A few subscriptions here, an impulse buy there, and suddenly the numbers in your bank account don't match the numbers in your head. Rocket Money helps you get the clarity and track every dollar and stay in control of your finances. Because managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. That'd be crazy talk. Rocket Money does the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress less. Rocket Money finds subscriptions you forgot you were paying for and helps you clean them up quickly. Having the app find good times to save each month keeps you consistent with your financial goals. Take control of your finances and cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Jimmy Stein guarantee.
I guarantee I do the worst rocket ever. When I'm trying to do a rocket, I guarantee you that's terrible.
I had to listen to some of the podcasts we did last night because everybody was going, are you okay? And I heard that live read, and I was like, at first I was like, what is Jimmy doing? I was like, oh, that's a rocket. That's a rocket. Okay. All right. So look ahead at IU very quickly. We're not going to get into an IU preview just yet, but I do think it's interesting.
I know a little bit.
Yeah. Ty Simpson has 520 more yards passing than the Heisman Trophy winner. Now, Fernando Mendoza has 33 touchdowns and Ty only has 28. But Mendoza also has 6 picks. Ty only has 5. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Mendoza's a great player. And I think he's even better than his numbers indicate, because when I watch him play, I see a guy whose game translates well to the NFL. I mean, I think he's an NFL passer, and I think as of today, he's the number 1 pick in the draft. So this is a big-time challenge for our defense, just playing Mendoza. But a couple of things about Indiana to brag on them. And I was blown away when I really started studying, because I know Indiana because I watch college football all the time. But I didn't know Indiana until I started kind of digging in this morning. They've given up 20 points twice this year. That's incredible. And I know people say, oh, the schedule, oh, the Big Ten. Their schedule hasn't been that bad. They've given up 20 points twice. They gave up 20 to Oregon on the road. They gave up 24 to Penn State on the road. That was a season high. And by the way, Penn State was number 1 at one point this season. That's amazing. That's amazing consistency defensively. And then on offense, well, they don't litter the field with NFL guys or All-American guys, but they do have so they got a Heisman guy, a quarterback, and a defense that's only given up 20 points twice this year. This is a really good football team. They beat Ohio State. Ohio State, very similar to Alabama, full of dudes, and they still beat a full of dude team at the end, 13-10, primarily on defense. But I also think this Indiana's beatable. And I'm just being honest when I say I think beating Oklahoma in Norman is a taller hill than beating Indiana on a neutral field. I really believe that. So Alabama is very capable of winning this game. They're also a 6.5-point underdog as of now for a reason. And I love that. I think our team needs to be plastered all over the gym, or all over the weight room, all over the locker room. Vegas says you're not as good as these guys. Vegas says you're not good enough to win the game. A lot of people are going to pick against Alabama again. And I like that. I want to be motivated. I don't want our team to think this is the Alabama brand versus the Indiana brand. I don't want that mindset at all. I want them. This is the number 1 seed in the playoff that just beat Ohio State, and Vegas says they're a touchdown better than you. So that's the mentality we need to go into the game with.
Here's another thing. Get ready, Alabama fans. Kirk Cignetti is not going to be Dabo Sweeney, all shucks, we can, big old Alabama and little old Indiana. Kirk Cignetti is going to say, y'all got to come play us.
He's going to Alabama fans will take some of his comments as disrespectful, but he does this to everybody.
He does it to everybody.
And I think he coached for Nick Saban for a while, right? When Kurt Cignetti does that, he's not talking to you, the Alabama fan. He's talking to his football team.
That's right.
He wants his football team to hear that. He could care less that Alabama fans think it's disrespectful. He's talking to his team as someone that, as all of us are fans of Nick Saban's Alabama. We should appreciate that, because that sounds like something Saban would do. Saban did it differently. They're not the same personality, but when Saban talked to the media, he was talking to his team. And that's what Signetti's does with all of his jibber jabber.
And look, here's the thing. If he's going to do the smack talk, which I fully expect, and I fully expect some people to go overboard with how pissed off they are about it, then it's up to us to do something.
Yeah.
And, we by the way, at the beginning of the year, y'all remember Tommy Castellanos called Alabama out, and Alabama said the disrespect will be dealt with. It was not dealt with.
It was not dealt with. It was dealt by them. Dealt by, now we have to call Tommy Castellanos and his 5-7 record our daddy. We have
That's right.
to. But football rules dictate that. So let's not do that with Signetti. But I do think here's the thing: 13 days again, rest. We get the rest. We saw the hell. I didn't promise a win, even though I picked Alabama to win, but I didn't promise a win. What I said was, you're going to get a better effort than you saw in Atlanta because the team's healthier. It took well into the second quarter for that to happen, but now you're going to see an even healthier Alabama team in Pasadena. That's bad news for Indiana. Alabama hadn't played their best game yet.
No time to get into it, but it is a little concerning. I did have the thought. The Alabama started out down 21-0 to Georgia and 17-0 to Oklahoma. So they start out behind 38-0 against their last two opponents. You don't want to do that against Indiana. I know they had their best defensive player hurt himself celebrating, which is reminiscent of the baseball player years ago who hurt himself washing his truck. Why didn't he just buy a new truck if it was dirty? He's a baseball player. So, all right, that's going to do it.
When the Auburn game was over, from the end of the Auburn game to a certain point in the Oklahoma game, Alabama had been outscored 45-7.
Jeebus. All right.
45-7. And now, what do you call this Alabama team? Rose Bowl bound. Yeah. So that's amazing fight that they have.
All right, that's going to do it for this podcast. We'll be back soon. Jimmy's got some travel tomorrow. I got to go pick up my kids tomorrow, so it's going to be a little difficult. So if you don't have one Sunday morning, bear with us. We will be back, but we will be back. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.